Yeah. But, looking about those patterns,
Yeah.
I was able to witness my soul observe my parents before I came into the baby body in the womb.
No.
Yeah. So, and it was very interesting because we create a pattern for the body that we will eventually live in
Yes.
before we before we even join the body. And
Yeah.
every soul
Wow.
joins the baby body in the womb at different times. It's not at conception
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Some people come in right at the end. And anyway, so I observed my parents in vast facets, like their individual beliefs about themselves and each other,
Mm.
how they viewed each other as parents, how they viewed each other
Yeah.
as husband and wife, all these different avenues. And what I got to see was the quality of love, self-love they had for each other, themselves, for each other, and then how much they had for me, the coming baby. And the agreements that we have before we incarnate can split off and have many different outcomes, right?
Yes.
So the agreement that we had in place and the experiences that they had in life and the way they responded to those experiences changed the agreement that I thought I was coming into. So they didn't have very much love for themselves. They didn't have enough love for each other. And they definitely didn't then have enough to give to me. Not that I wanted, because we're leaving a very high frequency existence to come into
Yeah.
a heavy, dense one of Earth, right?
Yes.
And when
Yes.
I observed it, I said, I'm not coming in, I'm not leaving this for that. And I did a 180 and said, I'm not going to be born. I'm not doing this. And then I had this overwhelming sense of obligation because
Yeah.
I have all these agreements. And if I don't come, they won't play out, which is also
Yes.
another option that can happen.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But I, I felt that responsibility. So I turned around and I decided to be born. And Spirit's telling me that I came in that body at 6 months old or 6 months in the belly. But the first patterns that I developed towards my parents was resentment because they didn't give me the quality of environment that I truly
Mm.
wanted and that I thought I
Yeah.
was going to have.
Yeah.
So I had resentment to my parents, and the other one was obligation.
Yeah.
So if I say I'm going to do something and I can't pull that off, I
Yeah.
feel so much
Yeah.
like shame
Yeah.
around it.
Wow.
So I had to,
Mm.
once I had these awarenesses, I was able to, shift them.
Shift it.
When you can look back then and you can see, I could then observe how that resentment structured the words and sentences, the way I interacted verbally with my parents,
Mm-hmm.
that underlining current that was always there. I could see how that played out through our lives together once I had
Yeah.
that awareness and I was able to, shift it. Doesn't mean that, wasn't shifted in the past, but I was able to
No.
shift it. But then I also was able to see my birth with my mum, and I was able to ask her if that's how she felt at the time of my birth, and she
Wow.
confirmed things for me. So that experience I had of observation
Mm.
before I came into the body was then amplified when I was born as well.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah, but it all goes into alignment with what you were talking about with ancestral stuff, but also patterning, right?
Patterning.
And
Yeah.
patterns before we
Absolutely.
even interact with the physical world,
Yeah.
with physical bodies.
Oh, definitely. I know for myself, like my father, I've talked about this on previous episodes. My father left my mum when she was 5 months pregnant with me. And, it also followed on from my mum had two stillborn babies, one at 5 months and one at 8 months. And she had multiple miscarriages as well. And then had my brother and then me. And then it was, yeah, she was 5 months pregnant when he walked out. So I was in her belly for the last 4 months of that pregnancy and just absorbing, all of my mum's fear and, just the devastation of losing her life as she knew it and having to move. Like she moved from England to Wales and, leaving everything that she knew behind to go to somewhere different and much the same. Like I know for me, like the way that I see parents, your mother is just pure unconditional love and so is your father, but your father is the first person in your life that gives you love from an external place.
Mm.
Whereas with your mum, you've grown in, it's a different, it's not a better or worse love. It just is, it has a different layer to it because we are created inside your mother's womb, and your
Absolutely. And your
father is
cells
that
really
person.
hang. You
Pardon?
leave your cells within your mum's body as well,
Yeah,
the brain
absolutely.
and the heart.
Absolutely. They travel to the brain. Exactly. So I missed out. I didn't have that in my life until I was about 11, but I didn't appreciate that until I was about 16. Like, I gave my stepdad a hard time till I was 16 because, it was all about me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I resonate with that, knowing that how I've been towards my mum, especially younger. And is it resentment? Maybe, but definitely it affected me in ways that I didn't understand until I started doing this work for
Yeah.
myself.
There is,
Yeah,
I think a blending has to happen of
yeah,
understanding a wider consciousness
yeah,
that is unseen but can be felt, but only through your personal experience. And when
absolutely.
you have that personal experience, then the integration can happen, right? Because now
Yeah,
you're starting to sense, so you're starting to understand that, we're not just these physical bodies, that there's a consciousness that resonates through our
mhm,
physicality that really does feed our life.
yeah, definitely.
Because that energy that we're talking about, that vibrational energy, that is at the center of every single cell in your body. And we know that through science as well.
Yep, yep,
And, for someone that needs more science or something outside of this kind of conversation, then quantum physics, the science of
yeah.
quantum physics explains what we're talking about.
Absolutely. 100%. Like everything, when I was at school doing physics, when I was doing science at school, we were made to do all three: biology, chemistry, and physics. And I fucking hated doing science, man. I hated it so much. I just couldn't get my head around it. But I had one physics teacher in my last 3 years of high school. He was the same physics teacher. And he really, I loved learning physics because he made it fun.
Mm.
I didn't understand most of it, but I actually enjoyed going to class. And then as I've gotten older, I've really become a quantum physics nerd. I love learning about it because I love, much the same as you, when there's a knowing that you have on the inside, but all you've got to go off is a knowing. I'm the sort of person that needs to have another dot that I can connect it to, that's real, and that's tangible, and it makes sense to me, and that's how I make it make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually like science. I
yeah,
don't
I do
maintain
now.
information in detail, but
Yeah,
I wish I could because I really
yeah,
enjoy science
yeah,
and especially quantum physics, right?
yeah,
I love what they have
absolutely.
to share
It's amazing.
and what they're learning. But that is
Yeah,
backing up what people like me do anyway, what we can interact.
absolutely. Exactly. Exactly. Especially the people that are trying to bridge the two together. I think that's just, it's so needed, and it's so valuable, and yeah,
Yeah, because we have
it's,
to take this big untangible or intangible, subject, bring it
yes.
down into reality, grounded it a bit, integrate it so that we can do both together.
Yeah. And also for people like me who don't understand half of what these clever quantum physicists talk about, it's bringing it into a language that people like me can actually understand, that have a creative brain.
Yeah, like seriously, I don't even think I do justice in my conversations about what I can see and what I've been shown
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
how reality works.
Yes.
Everything really is about consciousness interacting
Yes.
with energy and releasing those limitations we've placed on ourselves based
Yeah.
on education, acceptability within our tribe, whatever that might be, whether it's school or
Yeah.
family or friends. because, there are limitations placed on that, so you fit in,
Yeah.
and it's a willingness to be a little bit different, whether it's
Yes.
obvious to others or whether you're just doing it for yourself in your own private time, but a willingness either
Yeah.
way to
Yeah.
to maybe read something or listen to something and begin to integrate it in a way that fits
Yeah.
each person, right?
Yes,
As in have the
definitely.
capacity to make changes yourself, wherever that is for some.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And that capacity to make change for yourself, it's also having, if you've got the awareness that you've got resistance in the willingness to change it, then it's also having compassion with yourself that it's okay
Yeah,
to
because
take
that
your
journey
time with
never
that.
ends.
Yeah,
That journey just continues.
it does. It's like a I don't want to say it's a black hole because it's not black. It's like this giant white hole of healing. That yeah, you just every layer that you unlock, it's like another it's like another lesson
Yeah.
to
And then
integrate.
you get to a place where you're not constantly healing, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's coming. We won't
Yeah.
go into that yet. Okay, so in your work, you're not just talking conceptually because you do, like, obviously you've got a very big knowing, but you also do see some of the, especially from a vibration perspective, like you're able to kind of see what needs to be healing or changing in the body, and you're working directly with the body and with energy and what's happening beneath the physical surface. And for many people, healing can feel quite abstract because obviously we don't have that capacity to see and feel what you do. And so then, trying to understand it instead of witnessing that it's happening. So I'd love to bring in your lived experience of when you are healing or doing your healing work. When you're working with someone, what do you actually see shifting in their body or energy field when real change is actually beginning?
Okay. So that's quite vast when you say real
It
change,
is.
right? Because everything is real change.
Yes.
Hence,
Okay.
that's going to be different at what level somebody is at when they
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
So you asked a few things. So let's just say you said, what do I see?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I was saying at the beginning, I get a gamut of my skill set covers a range that makes
Yeah.
up one receivership for me to understand what it is. So I
Yeah.
might hear internally what my guide is letting me know. I
Yeah.
might also see the body, like see a gland in the brain. I might see the pineal gland or the hypothalamus or some area in the brain. Or I might just get a knowing that day that that's what we're working on.
Yeah.
And I'll feel and know the frequency that is resonating in there. And then the energy that drops into me will be of a quality, let's just say it's joy that's needed or it's love. And then I will receive the level of love that that person can integrate into themselves that day. And I will feel that
Yes.
through my body. Sometimes it's such a high frequency that tears will run out of my eyes because my body is trying to contain all of that frequency as it
Yeah.
moves through.
Wow.
So when you say real change, what do I see when there is real change? I see the quality of the frequency.
Yeah.
But how does somebody understand and integrate that and
Yeah.
open to receiving it as well? You know,
Yes.
some people can just say, yes, I'm open and I'm going to receive it. Other people
Yeah.
need to have a bit more information. So if that's going to
Yeah.
be the case for somebody, and I'm not saying this will happen for everybody, but
Yes.
what can happen is I sometimes do a remote viewing of people before they come, if that's what
Yeah.
they've chosen for that session. And I might actually hear their internal dialogue. And so
Yeah.
when someone hears back the thoughts that they have personally that I don't share, and when that is shared with them, even if they're a skeptic still, even though they're working with me, because that
Yeah.
does happen,
Yeah.
opens them up a little bit. And they go,
Yeah.
I don't quite get it. And I don't know how you know that, but there's something there.
Yeah.
And therefore,
Yeah.
something energetically shifts that allows more in, more of divine
Yes.
consciousness to come through, right? To shift
Yeah.
what's needed. So maybe a little story around that is that I worked with somebody who had 5% of their kidneys working. Both kidneys were only working at 5%. And this person had been waiting for a transplant for a very long time, and
Wow.
they just kept missing out, right? Now, when you understand consciousness and how it really works, you can't receive something until you're a match for it energetically. Doesn't matter how
Yes.
much force you have mentally or physically, you have to be an energetic match to allow that to come into your reality.
Yep.
And so this person, you would think the first thing that we would work on would be the kidneys, but it wasn't. We had to work on the liver, we had to work on internal dialogue. And this
Yeah.
person was not a believer, but just knew other people who knew me, who recommended me, and
Mm-hmm.
had gotten to a stage, because I think this person had been on this journey for over a decade,
Wow.
and nothing had worked for them. And so this person came through. They didn't believe there was a place here in the world for them anymore. It was
Oh.
very at the end of, I don't have anything else to give, there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing here for me. And then during one of those, because that person worked with me for a month, and I think it was maybe the second or third session that spirit gave me the information of the actual words that this person had with their partner during a disagreement that week. Now, the only reason I'm going to receive information like that, because I'm not a psychic reader or anything like that. The only reason I'm receiving that information is because that person has to embody trust.
Yes.
That energy consciousness is actually here to benefit them. And if they hear something like that, their energy system is going to open up, their
Yep.
heart system is going to open up, and they're going
Yep.
to receive so much more quality of consciousness that their
Mm-hmm.
system is going to shift enough that they'll then be able to receive an organ transplant, for example, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know this, but when you're in a system like this with your organs, that person had to have tests done every month to see where their organs were operating at. And so this person rang me up and said, in 12, yeah, it was 12 years. In 12 years, nothing has ever worked, Terry. She goes, my results have been the best they've been since this began 12 years ago. And that was
Whoa.
4 weeks because they were able to embody enough energy frequency shift,
Yeah.
then began to believe that they were loved, they were valued, they were needed, there was a place in the world for them, all in 4 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
because they heard from spirit through me their
Mm-hmm.
internal dialogue and their personal conversation word for word that they had with somebody else.
Yeah.
So that person needed all of that in order to shift their
Yeah.
to receive and shift changes in their physicality for their organs. And
Yep.
then a few months later, have an organ transplant.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I think that story, that example really
Yeah.
shows everything that we're talking about.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. No, it definitely. It. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's good?
Yeah. It wasn't a her, but yes.
Sorry. I'm
That's all
so
right. I did
sorry
say
to
her,
that
but
person. I'm very sorry.
I just don't want to get there.
I don't know why I assumed that it was. Yeah, that's amazing.
No, they're thriving. They're good.
That's amazing. That's
Mm.
so good.
Did I even answer your question?
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did.
I can go on tangents. That's all.
No, I'm
That can
the
be brought
biggest
back whenever.
tangent person, so don't worry about that. I'm very good at doing that. There's a point where healing stops. This is what we were touching on earlier. There's a point where healing stops feeling like something that you're constantly working at. And it's no longer about trying to fix or figure it out all the time, and just something that just becomes integrated if you're doing the work. And from what you've seen both in your own life and in those that you work with, when healing becomes integrated rather than constant work, what actually changes in someone's daily life?
I think it's just more ease, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about judgment earlier. I think you have less judgment
Yeah.
about yourself, about how things should be.
Yes.
That statement alone, how things should be,
Should be.
that's such a big block and
Mm-hmm.
resistance to allowing
Yeah.
so much more opportunities to come in,
Yeah.
whatever the opportunity might be for you, whether it's
Yes.
calmness, peace, employment opportunities, creative opportunities, friendship
Yeah.
opportunities, whatever those things might be for your journey.
Yeah.
Our belief of how things should be is a massive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I find for myself that, as you said, when we start to just integrate these things as first nature, not second nature, as things that we have to think about and have
Yeah.
little processes that we have to do, they just happen. And
Yes.
I find that mentally, my brain is so much more quiet.
Yes.
Yeah, there's this peace that I
The overthinking.
yeah, I guess before all this began, right, and I am at the place that I am at now, I never
Yeah.
could understand life. It just didn't make
Yeah.
sense to me. It was like, what,
Yeah.
we're born, we study, we work, we pay bills, we take a few holidays, do a few creative things, maybe have a family, and then we die. That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
And now when all this developed and I used to get a lot of overwhelm too back then because didn't know my place in all of that either. And, being that analytical person, I really wanted to get knowledge. Like I wanted to study, but I just couldn't,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah.
I could do small studies.
Yeah.
I just, I just couldn't. And I can't explain this because I had such a deep desire for it. But now I
Yeah.
understand because my yearning for knowledge was about something different that I
Yes.
couldn't get from university or college, right?
And aligned with what you are here to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very much.
yeah. So a lot, when you were saying, what had to shift for me in order to
Yeah.
do this stuff, it was a letting go of that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a willingness to be misunderstood
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
order to allow this to develop.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, when we're no longer striving to always fix ourselves and
Yeah.
just give ourselves love
Yeah.
as well, I just feel
Yes.
like mentally and emotionally we become calmer. We become
Yes.
more peaceful in our environment, and people pick up on that. I'm constantly being told that I am so calm, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that calm. But people just go, "You're
Yeah.
so peaceful. You're just so
Yeah.
calm."
You are. You do have when you're in your presence, in your physical presence, especially, you just are there's just this stillness that you have that really comes out of you. Like you can feel it
Well,
for sure.
thank you.
Yeah.
I have been in very difficult situation where, somebody had hurt somebody. And I was in this situation where, ambulances and police had to be involved.
Mm.
And when I arrived, and I witnessed something that has allowed me to integrate that information and just have so much love for other people and
Yeah.
understanding that I got to see the agreements that those two people had for this life, where they were to heal past traumas in other lives.
Mm.
And it didn't play out the way that they had hoped in this life. And so it
Yeah.
came to a catalyst where people
Yep.
were hurt. And I didn't have any anger at the person hurting the other one. I had understanding and compassion because of the trauma that they had experienced and the agreements that I saw for both of these two people that
Yep.
wasn't played out in the way that they had hoped it would be. And I
That,
guess that brings another level of stillness within. Like it's
yeah.
very different. We're talking about a whole another level of integration, right? But it's
Mm.
still there might be somebody listening who can understand this.
Oh, look, forgiveness is like it's the ultimate path to healing, and I think that's where a lot of the resistance does come from, someone who's gone through sexual abuse as a child. That is like one topic of trauma that is a really difficult place to get to, of understanding and forgiveness, and it
Absolutely.
took me a long time to get to that place, but I have an innate knowing in my body, even back then as a kid or 11-year old, that hurt people. And when you look at a tiny little baby that's just been born, that baby is so pure in their consciousness and in their energy that there is no way that for myself that I could believe that people are born evil and people are born to do evil things. People are a product of their circumstances, their own traumas, and their own experiences and their own generational traumas. Like there's so many layers to what brings someone to do anything that involves hurting someone else. But the ultimate path on your healing journey for myself that I found, the only way that I knew that I could move through the last part of healing from that trauma, was to find a level of compassion and acceptance and forgiveness within me for what had been done, because that came from someone who is a very traumatized, hurt soul themselves to even be able to do what he was doing, you know?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, forgiveness doesn't, and first of all, that's a huge leap. That's a very hard one to forgive.
It's really hard.
So you're a very strong and loving person to be able to
I
do
just
that.
think, but I think the only way I could get there was to trust my innate knowing that there is no way that when we come into this earthly plane, certain humans come onto this earth evil. They end or to do evil things. I think it's people who are not dealing with their own traumas and their own experiences that they've gone through in life that end up on that path of doing despicable things, So it was that belief inside me that people are not born evil, essentially, is what led me to that place of, okay, I have to, there is no way I can heal from, I couldn't see within myself that I could heal from that experience unless I found some level of forgiveness. And that was the only place I could get to with it.
And do you find that forgiveness isn't a full circle of forgive everything about this person and everything is right with the world and
No,
it's not, is it? Because some
no,
people
it's
think
no,
they have
no.
to forgive.
No, not at all. You can forgive the acts, and you can forgive the person, or you can forgive yourself, because there's layers to, there's layers to my trauma, personal trauma, that I lived for a long time because I stayed quiet and I didn't say anything. And the shame and the guilt and the everything else. And then when I did speak out, the shame and the guilt and there's so many layers to it all that, that one person set off a tangent of that just became multiple different versions of myself for years. And, but that happens naturally. Every experience that we have shapes us into who we are now. And I wouldn't be me. So I don't know who I would have been if that didn't happen to me, but it did. And if it wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't have. Like, that's how I see it. So I had to come to some place of, there was no way that I was healing fully from that trauma unless I found some peace. And the only way I could find some peace in that situation was to find a level of empathy and a level of forgiveness for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that doesn't involve them either.
No way, he's dead. No, not at all. Like, this has been in, like, I'm 46. This happened when I was between 11 and 12 and a half.
Yeah.
And, he died when my kids were really young, like my girls were really young. So no, not at all. Like, there's no level of, I don't know if it was easier to do that because he was dead. Or not.
But also for people listening to your platform, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about this for themselves, it's
Of
good for them
course.
to know, because Up until recent years, it's been very much a talk therapy to get through things, and sometimes involving the other people, where the other people don't even have to be involved, whether living or not.
No, no, not at all.
It's about you, the individual, coming to a
Yes.
place through whatever processes you have and increments that you're able
Mm.
to get to a place where you can forgive in ways that you just spoke about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I actually don't think at all it needs to include the other person, because how we perceive things is how we perceive things. Like, it's like the age-old thing of, if you have an argument with someone, there's always three sides to that argument. There's the side of one person, there's the side of the other person, and it's emotionally charged, both sides, and then the truth kind of sits somewhere in the middle. So you don't really need the other person to be part of, because it's about how you perceive things and how you are holding on to, whatever parts of whatever's happened in your life. It's how you're leading your life from that experience, and then also it's different for everybody of what they need to let go of, and it's not he imparted his trauma onto me. Essentially, what he did. He unleashed his unhealed parts of himself and created my trauma. That's how I see it. Not everybody needs to see it that way. I'm not saying that I'm right, and that's just what's worked for me. And I've spent a lot of years, especially since I had my eldest daughter, like that was my biggest trauma in my life, other than my father leaving. And it's affected me in ways that I never thought that it would affect me until I became a parent myself. And I just had this overarching sense that I needed to protect my babies from everyone. And that's when I knew that, man, there's some work to do here. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. It really, it's parenthood. Parenthood strips everything back.
If you're willing to acknowledge it and then do something with it.
Absolutely.
That's when parenting is hard.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because you want to do
it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Thank you, Terrye, for that conversation. That was amazing.
Absolutely.
You are amazing in what you do. And what I'm taking away... Pardon?
I said, I'm just humble. I'm just a conduit.
No, you are... Man, you just... Yeah, you've got no idea what you do. You do, but you don't at the same time.
And you know what? I'll say this out loud. I'm actually a lazy developer, because Spirit wants to do a heck of a lot, but I have to get out of the way, and I still don't always get out of the way for that to happen.
Yeah, but that's
a lazy developer.
Yeah, but I think we're all guilty of that, though, Terrye. I think that's just a natural human response, is most things in life, when it comes to progression and expansion, the only thing that stops us is ourselves. We just get in our own way all the time.
Absolutely.
That's just normal. It's just part of normal life. Being a human. But what I'm taking away from this conversation is simple but really profound, and that healing isn't something that's done to us. It emerges through us when the right conditions are created in our bodies and in our nervous systems and in our energy. And that the stories that we carry aren't just events from the past. They're lived in how we move and how we respond and how we show up. And recognizing the patterns is the first step towards real change within ourselves. And then awareness alone isn't enough. There's a responsibility that comes with seeing what's out of alignment and feeling what's out of alignment. And part of healing is learning how to hold that awareness without any shame or any pressure. And that integration is the goal. Like, when healing moves from constant work to a natural presence, it shows up in the little things, in how we move through our day and how we relate to ourselves and others, and how we carry the ease in our bodies. And if there's one thing I think for the listeners to take away from today's conversation, it's that healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering what's actually always been yours and learning to listen to your own body and your own system and your own intelligence along the way. So thank you for being here, and thank you for listening and holding space for yourself to absorb what resonates. And Terrye, we will link your social pages, website.
They exist. They're not active, but they exist.
Just so people can contact you, that's all. Do you know what? I had one question that I forgot to ask. Do you do your work remotely? Obviously, we live on the Gold Coast, so for people that are, Brisbane, Northern New South Wales, Gold Coast, like they can see you in human form. But do you do this work remotely?
Yeah.
As well?
Yeah, I work with people all around the world.
Yeah.
Online like we're doing now. And,
because,
if you have a look at quantum physics, that once something is entangled, it is forever connected, right?
Yes.
And Einstein used to call that spooky action at a distance.
Yes.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
But, quantum physics has expanded and evolved, and they can share that if you need it in that way. But, we are all from consciousness. So therefore, we are always entangled.
Yes.
So we can always affect each other. So this work can be done at a distance.
Amazing.
Be in the same room.
Amazing. So we will link your website and your social pages so people know where to find you and contact you.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. And
thank you everybody for listening, and I'll meet you in the next conversation.
Thanks for having me, Nichola.
Thank you.